Assalamu alaikum, namaskar, sastrikal, shalom. May the peace and blessings of Almighty God be with us all. My name is Alim Kader Baksh, welcoming you to Interfaith Reflections, a Caribbean TV production. This is the day God has given us. May we have a beautiful night. The meaning of Sohani Rat, our theme song.
Assalamu alaikum. This segment focusing on Islam is sponsored by the Imdadul Islamic Jamaat of Toronto. Other faith groups are welcome to sponsor as well.
Assalamu alaikum again. This week we're happy to bring you the highlights of an evening of celebration of Chief of Toronto Police Service William Blair. The event was held at the Toronto Police College in Etobicoke a week ago, Thursday, December 4th, and it was a glittering evening with members of the wider and the multicultural communities attending to show gratitude to Chief Bill Blair, who has been at the helm of the police service for the last 10 years. There were many delectable dishes provided, and we thank all of those who helped to provide them and to serve them. We'll show you as much as we could in the short interlude of 30 minutes that we have. The evening's proceedings were chaired by Urs here, who many of you probably know from Rogers Channel 10. I now hand you over to her.
At this point, I'd like to call upon one of the organizers, Osman Khan, co-chair of the Muslim Consultative Committee, also a member of the Chiefs Advisory Council, General Secretary of the Imdadul Islamic Center of Toronto, with the Muslim Consultative Committee for over 10 years. Please welcome Osman Khan.
May the peace, divine blessings, and benevolence of God Almighty be with each and every one of you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. First off, I bring you greetings from the Hamilton Chief of Police, our former co-chair of the Muslim Consultative Committee, and a friend, Glenn DeCare. He asked me to let you know that he could not be here because he has another community engagement in Hamilton. But he also tells me that he loves all of you and that he sends his greetings and best wishes to each and every one of you, but especially the Toronto Chief of Police, Bill Blair. I'd like, on this very auspicious occasion, to enlighten you a little bit about community, the Muslim Consultative Committee, which is the Chiefs Committee, and to tell you how honored we are to be a part of the Chiefs umbrella. We have our first Italian uniform co-chair. Ladies and gentlemen, Mario De Tomaso, Staff Superintendent of the Muslim Consultative Committee. And we have his assistant uniform co-chair. And we have myself, I'm the civilian co-chair. And we have my assistant co-chair, Ruxana Saeed, an IBM specialist. And we have 12 members on our board, including 4 youngsters that we added to the board because we tasked them to engage the youth in our community. And we meet once a month, at least, at Toronto Police Headquarters, and we bring to the table issues that our Muslim community have. And we arrange, at the beginning of the year, an event calendar where we have seminars and information sessions so that the community can benefit from the things that we see is needed to better our community. So I'll ask my liaison officer, Jamshid Habibullah, the first Muslim liaison officer in our community, to please come forward and do the electronics. And I'll tell you, he works behind the scene, and he dots all the I's and he crosses all the T's, and he makes sure everything gets done. This community arranges events across the GTA. We go into centers and schools. Some of the events that we have tasked the community with, and especially the 4 youngsters that we have on board that are university students, we say, we want you to engage the youth in our community. So they have arranged the second tri-sport competition. We believe that competition builds respect. So the Toronto Police Muslim Consultative Committee held the second annual tri-sport competition on Sunday, May the 25th. The games include soccer, basketball, and dodgeball. But the importance of this was that we engaged when this tri-sport event was taking place, and it was done right here in the gymnasium, in the gym, right at the back of this auditorium. We had all the police officers that are there in competitive sports with our youngsters, team building. You know, the chief, he emphasizes that community policing is perhaps the best way of disseminating and getting trust from the community. And we took that very seriously, and we tried to engage our community. So these are the awards that they got after the competition, and we had a cross-section of youth that engaged in this tri-sport competition. As you know, mental health has been plaguing our community, and it's becoming more evident. And we have thought it best to arrange for a mental health session. Topics were discussed including stress, various mental disorders and well-being, and available resources within the Toronto Police Committee and partner agencies. Our guest speaker was the Director of Mental Health and Addiction at CAMH. And I tell you, it was a very informative session and very engaging because we went beyond the time limit of our program. There were so many questions that we had. It was an engaging discussion that it was very beneficial for our community. Then we have the law enforcement and career information session. Very, very important because a lot of our people want to become police officers, not because they look so distinguished in the outfit, but because they want to serve the community like all our officers and that are serving right now. That's why when something happens in our community with these law enforcement officers, it hurts us also. So this law enforcement career information session was held right here, and we had the Toronto Police Services, the RCMP, and CSIS. And there again, it went on beyond the time limit. And I will tell you something, that once the opportunity for the career opportunity becomes available, a lot of the members of our community took the opportunity, and they are now engaging in that. As a matter of fact, we have our first Muslim auxiliary officers that wears the hijab. She's Mona Tabish. This committee had petitioned for the acceptance of hijab as an alternate wear for sisters that wants to join the community. And thanks to our chief And the Toronto Police Services, that was achieved, and it was a wonderful gesture for our Muslim community that now sisters that wants to join the Toronto Police Force have the option of wearing hijab. So thank you, Chief, and thank you for allowing that. And we went into the schools because our young children were victimized by drugs and cyberbullying. So we went to Nile Academy, and we have a very, as a matter of fact, you see our liaison officer, Jamshid, with the students at Nile Academy, advising them of the avenues that they can take when such occurrences takes place. You know, I had to look at Channel 10 to decide on our MC. And I don't want her to give me a note to pull me down because she gave me a time limit. But before I leave, I want to say how honored we are to be here and to have all of you here. And in this joyous celebration, we embraces all the faith groups, and we send on behalf of myself and our uniform co-chairs and all the members of the Muslim Consultative Committee, we send best wishes and greetings to each and every one of you for a safe and happy holiday. Thank you.
You've just heard the very good remarks of Brother Usman Khan, co-chair of the Muslim Consultative Committee, to the Chief of Police, who co-sponsored the event with Brother Zul Qasim Ali, co-chair of the South and West Asian Consultative Committee, to the Chief. Brother Zul.
Chief, Consular Generals, my co-chairs, my colleagues, my friends, my brothers and sisters, and ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply honored here today to be part of this Diwali, Christmas, Eid, and all the festivals which are taking place and going to take place, and we are celebrating it collectively today. I had told Osman that please do not put the limit of 5 minutes because I know you are going to take more than 5 minutes. But he says, no, we should put a time. So we did put a time, and it took how many? 14 minutes? Just kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, there is so much we do, and in the time allocated, it is impossible for us to articulate everything what we do. But whatever Osman has already said, in the South and West Consultative Committee, we do almost similar kind of programs. But before I go into discussing about what we do, first of all, I want to take a few moments and talk about why I am here. I have been the highest unpaid volunteer with the Toronto Police for the last 29 years. And every moment has been very special for me. Special because I worked with 4 chiefs in the past, and I have said this in the past, and I'm going to repeat it again. I salute Chief Bill Blair, because what I could not achieve with other chiefs, he has been so kind to allow us to achieve our goals through his leadership. And I want to quote some examples. What does it mean? I don't want to just say it for the sake of saying, but with some evidence. there were so many issues with the South Asian communities. Take example of elder abuse, domestic violence. And I tried with other chiefs and I was not successful. When I approached Chief Bill Blair, he said, Zul, if you really want to do it, go and look for a community partner. Create a partnership and let's do it. And this year, we are in the 5th year of creating domestic violence conferences in Toronto. And this year, we are going to be going to Ottawa to do the grand finale in Ottawa on combating domestic violence. And because of this chief, we were able to achieve that. And I can go on, but I have to salute this chief because if you remember the 17 alleged when they were arrested, it was this chief who came out publicly at the Nugget Mosque with one phone call. It was a Friday afternoon. I asked Deputy Chief Kim Derry that people are blaming the Muslim community. How is the chief going to help us? He said, arrange a meeting at the Nugget Mosque and bring all the community leaders and I will come and address them. Media from around the world was in that room. And it was this chief who defended the religion of Islam. This chief. So ladies and gentlemen, when I say I salute him, with a lot of respect, I do that. Thank you very much for your kind support and your guidance. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we do. This is how we engage. And this is how we bring respect for the community to the Chief of the Police and the entire Police Services Board. Thank you very much.
And now for the big moment, I'm happy to hand you over to Chief Bill Blair.
Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum. Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters and friends, it is such a great honor to be here with you tonight. And I really do, most sincerely, know that I am among friends when I come here tonight. I would like to begin, by the way, we just saw an extraordinary performance, and I was asked if I enjoyed this, and I shared with our friend that twice I've had the privilege of attending in Konya in Turkey to the Sufi Cultural Center there, and I have seen this performance there. It was done exceptionally well here tonight as it was there. I enjoyed the performance very much, and thank you very much for that. It really is quite extraordinary. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I probably should begin by apologizing. This is only the first event I think I've ever attended not in uniform. And so I was able to come in disguise. Most people didn't even know I was here. But as I look around this room, I see so many dear friends, people who have been extraordinary partners and supporters and friends to myself and to members of the Toronto Police Service, people who have been committed to community safety, but not just the safety of our communities. I think the strength of our communities really is on display here tonight. And the strength of our communities has always been based upon our friendship, our partnership, our commitment to each other, our commitment to our communities. You know, tonight, and I wanted to also acknowledge and thank my two friends who spoke, Osman and Zul, for their very kind words, but I could not help but notice that they give me much credit for simply saying yes. And so one of the great privileges and opportunities that I have had as a member of the Toronto Police Service, and by the way, that bio is a little dated, I have been a police officer for over 38 years. I have been chief for nearly 10. And throughout my entire career, I have learned from the communities that I have served, and I have been blessed as a police officer and a police chief and a member of this community to have so many extraordinary people who are committed to our city, committed to making a difference for all of our citizens, committed to making sure that everyone in our city is included and respected and treated with the dignity that they deserve. People that are committed to helping the police service be better informed, more competent in serving our communities. I have had the privilege of good friends and good advice. I have been given the opportunity to be supported by extraordinary people in all of our communities, and most particularly tonight, let me acknowledge both our consultative committees from the Southwest Asian community and the Muslim community, as well as all of the CPLCs that are represented here this evening. You know, one of the great strengths of our city and our police service is the consultative process. I learned this as a younger police officer. I learned this in a number of places that I've had the privileges of working, and I certainly know, because it was reinforced to me over and over again, how important these processes are, these conversations that we have together, the work that we do together, and what a difference it has made. And I have people come from all over the world to try to discover how it is that Toronto is such a safe and livable city, a city where people can come from every culture, speak every language, know every faith tradition, and yet we can come here to this place, to the great city of Toronto, to Canada, and we can live together in peace and in harmony and in respect. And they ask of me, how is it that Toronto is such a safe and livable city, notwithstanding all of its diversity? And I am able to tell them it isn't in spite of its diversity, it's because of its diversity. And we can share among all of God's blessings and the peace that it brings to our community because we stand together. And we stand together as people of faith, and we stand together as people of community. And I think it really is quite a remarkable thing. And I believe that it's an example that can be shared with the world. I recall, and Zul made reference many years ago when we had a meeting up at the Islamic Center on Nugget Avenue in Scarborough. And I received a call the next day. I've shared this with many of you, but I received a call the next day from the director of the FBI. And I thought he wanted to talk to me about an investigation we had just completed, but that wasn't what he wanted to learn about. He wanted to know, how is it that we can all be standing together? That in the face of great adversity, an enormous challenge that we faced it together. And he wanted to know, how is it that all of these extraordinary community leaders and the police chief can stand side by side before the world and stand together? And I tried to explain to him how this relationship was built and the consultative processes that brought us together. The fact that we do spend a lot of time speaking to each other, listening to each other, learning from each other, that we have spent years doing these things. And it is only with the support of extraordinary community partners that we were able to come to this place. But I've talked to them about how we did that work, and quite frankly, others have been inspired by it. And I see in so many other places in the world now where people are trying to achieve the same thing, to achieve those same relationships. And as I've been asked, what is the secret to the safety of your city? I have to tell them, my secret is all of you. I don't keep the secret very well. I tell them all, you are the secret. But I think, and we have achieved an extraordinary thing together. Toronto is recognized as one of the most livable cities anywhere, and certainly one of the most safe cities in all of North America. And I take great pride in that, and you must take great pride in that as well. And as has already been said, after 38 years as a police officer in the city of Toronto, as 10 years I've had the privilege to be your chief of police, my career will come to an end in April. But I want to assure you, what we have learned and done together has established a legacy and a foundation for the future. And I am confident, and I have many of the brilliant police leaders who work on my team here with me today, and I have my community partners here with me today. We have established a foundation from which we can all build for the future. And I am absolutely confident that my successor and chiefs of police in other jurisdictions will learn from what we have done together. And they will see that the strength of our relationships is the secret to our safe communities. And I am very, very confident that as we go forward together in this great city, and in my police service, and in our partnership, what we have learned from each other will hold us in good stead for the future. And so I want to assure you all, I am very grateful for the privilege and the experiences that I have been given to be the Chief of Police in the City of Toronto. And I am supremely confident in our future together, because I know the strength of leadership in my own team, and I know the strength of leadership in my community. And so I just want to tell you all how grateful I am to be your friend, how grateful I have been for the friendship that you have all shown me. And I sincerely hope that we will get other opportunities over the coming 3 or 4 months that I have remaining, so that we might spend more time together, continue to learn from each other, and continue to strengthen this relationship. But I do want to also say thank you to those who have organized this night, another very special night, and it truly is well named. This is a celebration of our diversity, and we have much to celebrate. So thank you all for joining us here tonight, and I am very privileged to be with you.
The music in the background is by the Whirling Dervish Choir. Please enjoy. Our final item is from the Ismaili Youth Choir. They'll be in the background because of time constraints for most of their rendition. However, Interfaith Reflections and the Imdadul Muslim Jamaat of Toronto join with the Muslim Consultative Committee and the South and West Asian Consultative Committee to the Chief in thanking him for his yeoman's service to the Toronto Police Service in the 38 years that he served, 10 as Chief. He reached out to the Muslim community in a way that has never been done before. The President, Haji Harun Sharif, the members of the executive, send Darood to our Holy Prophet, peace and blessings of Allah be upon him, and salams to all of our brothers and sisters. Have yourselves a great week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.